never know.
Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. Each month we invite a guest programmer to come pick a lineup of films for us to see. And right now I'm very happy to welcome back a woman I had a chance to work with briefly this year on the TV series she created, The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Thanks for being here, Tina Fey.
Thank you for having me, Robert. I'm so thrilled to be here. And thank you again for being on our show.
Well,
you did an excellent job.
Barely on it. Thank you, but a treat for me, a great treat for me. Well, here's the next movie pick for us from Tina, a romantic comedy from the pen of Neil Simon. It's The Goodbye Girl, starring Richard Dreyfuss and Marcia Mason. Now, this is a terrific movie. Why did you pick it?
This movie hits a real sweet spot for me in that I realized I have a real thing for movies set in 70s New York. And I think part of it is because I was born in 1970, and for me, like, that was what grown-up life was. Things like, oh, they're grown-ups and they're living in New York City and it's terrible there.
And you grew up?
I grew up outside Philadelphia.
Okay.
So to like the dream of, I just grew up in the suburbs, but the dream of like living life in the big city. I love anything from, you know, Annie Hall, Goodbye Girl, An Unmarried Woman, anything in New York in the 70s, The Turning Point, I love it. And this movie now, I look at it, and as a New Yorker, I've been here for a long time now, I realize it's my neighborhood. And so I get another, like a separate level of fascination of like, look, that's 78th in Amsterdam. It looks horrible. There's not a Duane Reade there yet. And so I like to break down like the locations of the parts that are outside and just everything about it. Again, it's not necessarily a flawless movie, but it's I find I like movies where I want to live in the universe the movie takes place.
It's wonderfully acted, I think, by everybody that's in it.
Yeah.
And I think Richard Dreyfuss is supreme.
Yes. The other thing that I found really interesting was I was watching the movie again, and I thought, oh, you know, I think I'm going to look this up. I think that Marcia Mason was nominated for an Oscar for this movie, and she was.
Yes.
And then I realized, no, and he won. And the idea that you could win an Oscar for just being people having a relationship, and that is not during wartime, and there's no you know, there's no one struck down by a rare disease in the middle of it. And if you look back at that year, the whole year, I think, was, you know, like The Turning Point, Annie Hall, The Goodbye Girl. It was all, again, is maybe my favorite year. It's like 1977, just people walking around in corduroys in New York talking about their relationship.
And Quinn Cummings, that plays her daughter, got an Oscar nomination for this as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I have went to show this movie. It was on a year or so ago, which is on TCM, and we, as a family, my husband and my older daughter and I, we watched TCM a lot. And I learned the night this was on that my older daughter and I have something in common. When I was a kid, I was extremely jealous of child actors to the point where I would sort of storm out of a room if a Shirley Temple movie was on or something like that. And I said, oh, you're going to watch this movie?
Because Shirley got the part, not you?
Yeah, because Shirley was like only 40 years older than me. And so we went to watch The Goodbye Girls. Oh, you'll like this movie, you know, it's really cool. And she was, someday will be mad that I told this story, but she was, has that trait that I have, and she was so consumed with jealousy of Quinn Cummings that she got to be in a movie, even though this was so long ago, that she watched half of the movie with a blanket over her head to conceal her sort of red-faced jealousy.
I think you have a diva in the making here.
I hope so.
Yes, indeed. Well, let's have a look. Here was featuring some stand-up performances by the entire cast from 1977, directed by Herbert Ross, The Goodbye Girl.